Hello everyone, Pickle Central here. Welcome back to another video. I haven't been here for a while. Well, I haven't done a video in a while. And with no primaries going on for a while, I'm just gonna sit down here and we're gonna go through the state of the midterms. So I'm gonna update all my predictions, my House, Senate, and governors. Obviously, if you guys have not watched me before, my ratings go safe, likely, lean, tilt, and you'll see how I roll with these predictions. So not gonna continue to waste you guys' time because I know you guys probably have somewhere else to be. So let's get right into it. Starting off with the U.S. Senate, and we're gonna start with the party out of power, the Democratic Party. I'm gonna go with their saves. Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, Illinois, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. And some of you may say, oh, why New Mexico? Why Virginia? Why New Jersey safe? New Mexico, Republicans do not have a viable candidate. I don't think they have any Republican candidate in New Mexico. In Virginia, you saw the landslide that happened last year there for Democrats. Favor there. So yeah, in New Jersey, same deal. I think they're way out of reach now for the Republicans. Alright, now let's go over states for Republicans. Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina. Just your general red states. Probably not going to see any competitive races there. And immediately taking out with all the safes and likelies, we're at 45-43 here. Safes 45-43. Let's go back to the Democrats. Likely for them, Minnesota, New Hampshire. Listen, Minnesota and New Hampshire have a chance to be competitive, but I doubt it. With this environment, I doubt they're going to flip. Alright, now for likelies for Republicans. Florida, Iowa. I just don't see Republicans losing either. Like, for Democrats, Florida and Iowa would be probably seat 53 for Iowa, seat 54 for Florida. Or if you count Nebraska with Osborne, Iowa is 54, Florida would be 55. I doubt Democrats will get to 55 unless some crazy stuff happened. Alright, leans for the Democrats. Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia. Democrats seem pretty good in North Carolina. Roy Cooper's had a decent lead throughout this generation campaign so far. Republicans obviously blundered their chance at Ossoff, and Ossoff has been leading the Republicans in those races pretty decently. And yeah, leans for the Republicans. Texas and Nebraska. Here's the deal. Nebraska, Dan Osborne is going to be pretty good this cycle. For Texas, going to be close, I think. Talerico is drawing a lot of enthusiasm, but Texas is a Republican state. Even though Talerico has enthusiasm, I doubt the environment is going to be good to have Democrats shift this 14, 15 points to the left in this cycle to win it. For Nebraska, just too Republican as well. Alright, kill sort of Democrats. Is this one? It's gonna be Maine. Look, Maine. Susan Collins is a fighter. she is gonna put up a ton of fight, but right now it seems like she will be an underdog going into this general election. And finally, Ohio and Alaska tilt Republican. This is obviously going to be seats 50 and 51 for Democrats if they get 50 and 51. These are the most likely contenders. Strong Democratic recruits. Ohio with Sherrod Brown, Alaska with Mary Peltola. The environment might be just right for them to flip. And yeah, let's now go. That's my Senate, 51 Republicans, 49 Democrats, Republican control. But depending on how the numbers fall, we could see Democrats actually having the majority. And if you went back to my prediction at the beginning of this cycle, I didn't think there was a chance for that. Alright, now let's move on to governors. Obviously, ton of governors up. We got 36 of them up. And once again, we're going to start with the party out of power, the Democrats. And we're starting with the saves. Oregon, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania. Look, Pennsylvania is what many of you are questioning, huh? And why? Justin Fields was up by several points, like almost double digits. He may actually win by a bigger margin than he won by 4 years ago, which is insanity. So yeah, states for Republicans: Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, Vermont, New Hampshire. Look, if you're a Democrat saying my New Hampshire, polling doesn't look good. It just doesn't. Alright, likelies for the Democrats. It's just one, it's Maine. Likelies for Republicans: Iowa, Kansas, Florida, Alaska. Actually, no, not Iowa. It's just Kansas, Florida, Alaska. You're wondering why. In Texas. I meant to do Texas. Alright, sorry, I screwed up. My likelies are Kansas, Texas, Florida, Alaska. There's a chance these can be competitive, but Kansas is your main one. This is a Democratic seat. This is going to be pretty much an easy flip here for the Republicans. They have their former governor running. It's going to probably be an easy flip with Laura Kelly retiring, terminated. I don't see Democrats holding it. Florida, Alaska, Texas, you could see it being competitive, but no. All right, leans for Democrats: Michigan, Arizona. I see Democrats favored in Michigan, but it could come down the wire there because of what's been going on with the splitting, the former mayor of Detroit running third party. It's gonna be a mess, but still lean Democrat. Arizona, Katie Hobbs, decent polling leads throughout this campaign, so I got Katie Hobbs as the um favorite here. Leans for Republicans: Ohio and Nevada. I see Ohio potentially flipping, but Vivek is running against pretty weaker Democrat. Democrats were wanting Sarah to either run for governor or for Senate. And if it was, I honestly believe if Sherrod Brown ran for governor, he would be a favorite. But nope. Amy Acton actually is a good candidate though, but I don't see her beating Vivek Ramaswamy. And then here's my tilts. For the Democrats, Wisconsin. For Republicans, Iowa and Georgia. These are jump balls at this point. Iowa has a strong Democrat running in Rob Sand, but unfortunately for Democrats, I think Iowa's too red. For Georgia, brutal fight on both sides. It's going to be a jump ball. In Wisconsin, we obviously do not know who's going to be the Democratic nominee. We've seen polling in the frontrunner in the Democratic primary is only getting 20%. Undecideds are a huge key there to face off against probably the nominee for Republicans is probably going to be Representative Tom Tiffany. Tilt for right now because and plus Wisconsin's Wisconsin. Now finally let's go to the US House. As you can see here, I already filled out the safes for each party. So Democrats are starting at 194 safe seats. Republicans are starting at 171 safe seats. And let's get started. We're going to go east to west. Starting off in Maine, lean Republican. With Jared Golden retiring, probably one of the easier pickups for Republicans, but the environment could still let the Democrats keep it. Alright, over New Hampshire second, likely Democrat. Yeah, not going to be competitive at all. New York, we got a new addition to the competitive list. It's the old Stefanik seat. It's a Stefanik seat. Sees retiring is open, but I doubt it flips. But I see it being competitive. It goes to likely Republican. The lowest seat, same thing, goes Republican likely. Alright, down here, Long Island, the Slawsy seat, likely Republican. Same with Laura Gillen's seat in New York 4. 19th, this is Riley, leaning Democratic. Same with the Mike Lawler seat, leaning Democratic. That's a Democratic pickup. Alright, over in Pennsylvania, in New Jersey, I got lean Democrat here in the Scott Perry seat and in the Rob Sanahan seat. I think, no, that's not Sanahan, that's McKenzie, I believe. Sanahan seat up here in Pennsylvania 8, I got tilt Democrat. I see Pennsylvania 8 being more competitive than 7. Um, Brian Fitzpatrick's seat, though, like a Republican, he's just like Susan Collins. It's going to be difficult to take him out, but he's well liked by this district, unlike Susan Collins. So, yeah. In the 7th of New Jersey, tilt Republican Tom Kane. Mikey Cyril barely won this district. I think as of right now, Tom Kane is a slight favorite. I forgot to make this seat safe red, my bad. Alright. Down to Virginia and the Carolinas. The 7th, I got likely Democrat. The 1st, I got lean Republican. And I got lean Democrat for the 2nd, which would be another Democratic pickup. Down here in the North Carolina seat, unfortunately for Don Davis, I still see him as an underdog tilt Republican, however. Likely Republican in this new 3rd district, which took some of the a ton of Democratic vote and put it there, making it more competitive. And for North Carolina 11, I got also likely Republican. Same with South Carolina 1. Over here in the Midwest now, we're going to start with this Tennessee seat. I got it lean Republican. Andy Ogles, very controversial member of Congress. I see him struggling, but seat's too red. It's too gerrymandered for him to lose, probably. Alright, up here in Ohio, likely Democrat here in the 1st and 13th. However, and likely Republican here in the 15th. I got lean Republican, however, in the 10th, but tilt Democrat in Marcy Capture seat. Once the Republicans tried to put more of their base in Marcy Capture seat, I think it's going to fail once again. I think C is now a pretty slight favorite. That wouldn't rule it out that C loses due to how red her seat is, but yeah. Michigan. I got all the seats here in Michigan going to Democrat. The 8th is now likely, but the others lean Democrat. So those are 2 more pickups for the Democrats. In the Wisconsin seats, I got another pickup here. The 3rd district, I got as a Democratic lean district. I got lean Republican now in the 1st district of Wisconsin. That is Kenosha. It's going to be determining how big the wave is because Kenosha County, especially pretty bellwetherish. But as you get more and more out, it becomes more Republican. So yeah, lean Republican for right now. Likely Republican here in the 8th of Minnesota. I see it being pretty close. Likely in the right environment. Same with Minnesota 1. But Minnesota 2, the environment shows it probably won't flip. Likely Democrat. Alright, for the Iowa seats here. Likely Democrat here in the 1st. The Miller Meeks seat. I think Miller Meeks too unpopular. She's a very weak candidate. Republicans probably would be better off if she loses a primary, which literally could happen too. But now I see her losing bad in a general election. I see deferred flipping as well. It's now lean Democrat. And the 2nd, likely Republican, is going to be more difficult to flip that seat. But it could happen. It could happen. Nebraska 2, Kamala Harris won this seat, likely Democrat. Alright, the Kansas and Missouri seats. Missouri 5th, likely Republican, same with Missouri 2nd. In the right environment, Democrats could kick the 5th and flip the 2nd, but I don't see that environment here. And the 5th got basically screwed here. Alright, Kansas's 2nd district, I got it likely Republican. It almost flipped. 6 years ago, it almost flipped. But for Democrats, I think with this new district that's pretty red, not going to happen. The 3rd district of Kansas actually should be safe Democrat. I don't see Democrats getting even close to losing it. Alright, down here in Florida, we got new additions. A new addition here to the competitive list, the 15th for Florida. I got it as likely Republican. Same with the 7th for Florida but for the Democrats, likely for Democrat in Florida's 23rd, and for Republicans, I got lean Republican in the 13th. Moving over to Texas, I got likely Republican here in the 9th district. I see it Harris County potentially being a huge problem for Republicans there, but Liberty County is very heavily Republican, so I think it's gonna stay Republican. We'll flip to the Republicans. The 15th of Texas. I see it becoming more and more competitive, especially with the trends of Latinos we saw in the special election, and we saw if the Democrats continue momentum in the Rio Grande Valley, that's definitely going to be a very competitive seat. All right, for the other RGV districts, I do have Democrats keeping them both, and they're at likely Democrat now. And you see, my prediction now is at 219 Democrats. They will have the majority in the House in my prediction. But we're going to keep going here since we got 19 more seats to fill. In the 35th of Texas, this is going to be a flip for the Republicans, but I got to tilt Republican now. You got to watch those heavy Latino areas, Bexar County, Guadalupe County. That could be the big question mark for if Republicans want to get this district. In the 23rd, got likely Republican. Just too red right now, I think. But Bexar and El Paso County could be the reason it could flip though. Alright, over here in New Mexico and Arizona, Colorado, we got likely tilt here in Colorado free. And then I got a lean Democrat here in Colorado 8. And the second of New Mexico got likely Democrat. Lean Democrat in both. Arizona 6 and first. The first is open. Democrats have been close to flipping it the last 2 cycles. With it being open, pretty prime pickup opportunity there. Arizona 6 under a prime opportunity. The Democrats almost won it 2 cycles in a row, despite Trump winning it. Them both. Down ballot Democrats actually been winning those districts. So I think with Trump not on the ballot, I think Republicans are going to lose both. And in the second Arizona, I see Republican Eli Crane winning pretty comfortably, but he could face some trouble if in the right environment. In Alaska, likely Republican. No Peltola. I just don't see it flipping. Unless Peltola landslides against Dan Sullivan, which 88% chance will happen. Alright, up here in the Northwest, Montana 1, lean Republican. I got likely Democrats in the Oregon seats, and lean Democrat in the Washington seat. That's probably the only non-gerrymandered Democratic seat that have potentially been competitive outside of Maine. Held seat that could flip outside Maine. Alright. California. The 13th likely Democrat. I got lean Democrat here in the 22nd and the 40th. And then this 41st district here, likely Republican. I think that's the number 41st. And there you have it, my new prediction. 229 Democrats, 206 Republicans in the House. As you can see, even though Democrats may not have that big of a majority on this map as of now, things are definitely shifting in a good direction for them. They could absolutely get into the 230s for seats, maybe even the 240s in a very great night. So, that's my predictions, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.